In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the Neumann MT48 audio interface, and we're going to be discussing why, for me, this is a complete game changer. And normally I actually don't like audio interfaces, but I don't consider this to be an audio interface. I consider it to be way more than that. And we're going to be looking at why this could be the ultimate setup for your live shows or for your portable recording. So Neumann got together with Merging Technologies to create the MT48. Merging Technologies is a company from Switzerland, and they're known for their really high-end analog to digital converters. And when two companies like that get together, then you know they're going to create something good. In this video, I'm only using the music mission mode on the MT48, but there's also another mode which is called the monitor mission, which transforms the MT48 into a full-fledged monitoring controller. It has 2 microphone inputs and 2 line inputs, but these are expandable up to 48 with the music mission mode and 128 with the monitor mission mode. Expansion is done through either ADAT, AES67 or Dante, which is a paid license. The MT48 can handle 4 independent mixes. It's of all-metal construction, it has 2 headphone outputs, a touchscreen, and a nice big and very smooth control wheel. By the way, in all clarity, this video is sponsored by Neumann. They did send this over to me, so thank you Neumann for sponsoring this small channel, but just bear that in mind when you're watching this video. But of course, as always, all my thoughts and opinions are my own. So I've been experimenting and on the lookout for the perfect way to record my live shows as a solo singer-songwriter. And previously, I've only used this interface to record in the studio at home. But then I realized I could not only use this as an audio interface, but I could also use it as a digital mixer. And that completely changed the game for me. Because the thing that makes this interface so good and so unique is the touchscreen. And I just wonder if some of these producers who have reviewed this interface in the past have not considered how much of a game changer this touchscreen is in a live situation for someone like me. Because a lot of the time, when I do a live show, I'm playing in small venues, bars, or house concerts, and not all of the time there's going to be a dedicated sound engineer. And a lot of the time, there's a PA there for me to plug into, but there's not necessarily all the time going to be a dedicated sound engineer who knows exactly what they're doing and can help me get the sound that I want and the sound that I need. Plus, I'm a little bit of a control freak when it comes to my sound, so I like to have as much control as possible directly from the stage. So the other week I had this house concert in the Netherlands, and I thought, well, that's a great opportunity for me to take this along and just to try it and see how I get on with this. Because in this house concert, there was just a PA and I had to basically just do all the sound myself. I think it was the perfect tryout setting because I didn't need to be very loud. I had pretty much the whole day to set up and get the sound that I wanted. Also, the fact that I had to travel on the train, so I was traveling from Berlin in Germany, and it was about like a 6 or 7 hour trip. Not too crazy, but I had to think about what I was packing. I had to see how portable this thing is to just take with me on a train. I had no car, nothing like that. So I had to be as minimal as possible. And so I think this was a great opportunity to test out that portability. Considering how much it can do and the features that it has, it's really not that big and not that heavy. And it's super easy just to zip up in the case, put it in my bag with the cables, and I was set. It was actually really, really easy. So on the portability side and the practicality of taking it with me on a train, It was fantastic. Now, because of the controls on the touchscreen, I did have to make sure that it was close enough to touch when I was on stage, but that wasn't really a problem for me. I just put it on a stool next to me, and you can actually fix it to a microphone stand as well if you want to. So in terms of it being practical as something that is on stage that you can access, I think it's actually really good. So sound check was an absolute joy. Just being able to put those headphones on and check the levels directly from the MT48 was, to me, nothing short of a revelation. It really was, for someone who is a control freak over my sound, it was absolutely perfect. I was able to really pinpoint the levels exactly, get them exactly how I wanted, just directly from the MT48. So there was actually a particular moment in the sound check where my vocal mic was causing me problems. It was just something about the room. There was just a particular frequency that was just resonating a little bit more than the others. Previously, I would have had to have messed around with the limited EQ that came with the PA and probably not actually resolved the problem. But with the MT48, because of the interface and because of how much control I have, specifically the EQ is really, really good. I was able to pinpoint that specific frequency that was causing me problems and then just drop it out, and then it was fine. And I was able to do it really easily and really quickly. So this is what it looks like when you first turn it on, and obviously you can see my vocal mic coming in here, and then you can see the 4 different inputs here. So first off, we have gain. We can control the gain, so we just click on it, and then we use the wheel here, and this wheel is just super smooth. It's really nice to use. And that's obviously the gain for each signal. We have a cut here, so that just completely mutes the signal. I can turn it back on. We have a pad here as well, so I can go minus 12 dB or minus 24 dB, and I can actually change it from a mic to a line input as well, so I have that option, which is nice. We have phase switch. We have a low cut filter, so I can go 40 Hertz, 60 Hertz, or 80 Hertz, which is also really nice. And obviously 48 volt phantom power on each of the mic inputs there. So if I just swipe, I go to the next page, which shows me the instrument or line inputs. And I've just got my guitar plugged in here, and I'll unmute it and we'll see what it sounds like. All right, go to EQ. I'll turn it on. Let's say I want to cut that really low end stuff. Then I go on gain, and I can move it down. I can also adjust how much I cut, so I can go wide. So I'm going to go and have a look at some of these mid frequencies here. I'm going to adjust the Q here, and this helps me adjust like how much. This is what I usually do when I'm EQing. I basically find the frequencies that I don't like, and then I cut them. All right, let's have a look at the compressor here. So we click on dynamics, we turn it on, and I'll turn this up, and immediately you can kind of hear that compression coming in, you know, just on this vocal mic, and it's a really nice compressor. Let's turn up some of these. Turn up the attack. So we have ratio, we have attack, we have release. You know, it's a really, really nice compressor. I really like using it. And we have gate, and a limiter as well. Just basically everything you could want from a compressor. You know, we have it here. Really nice to use. Okay, so let's have a look at the reverb now. So we can make it a large reverb. Then we can change that. We can make it a smaller reverb. Make it a bit larger, make it really large. The reverb on this is one of my favorite things. It's a really nice sounding reverb. So this is the low cut. So we can cut the low frequencies. Or we have a high cut, we can cut the high frequencies or bring the high frequencies in. Then we have a pre-delay. And this is basically just affecting the distance between when I play and when the reverb actually comes in. Then we have decay. This is how long the reverb goes on for. We can have it maximum up. So this will last for a very long time. For these more ambient reverb sounds. And then we have diffusion, which is interesting, which, put it all the way back, it kind of turns into a delay. And then the more we bring it in, the more it actually just kind of turns it into the reverb. Diffuses that. These control the monitors or speakers that you set up, and you can have up to 2 pairs of monitors here, and then 2 sets of headphones. Headphone 1, headphone 2. And you'll notice that the mix kind of changes here, you know. And so with each one of these, it has its own, can have its own settings, both in the volume and the mix and everything. And that is actually really cool, because let's say I have the PA speakers set to monitors 1, and then I have my own onstage monitors set to monitors 2, or A and B. And then I can also do that with my headphones. So let's say I also am using in-ear monitors, you know, and then I have someone else using in-ear monitors maybe on stage as well. So I can control them. So each one of these can have its own settings, which is very, very cool, and its own mix. And also having control on stage of that, you know, I was noticed like really nice to be able to just mute. At the moment, you see that some of them these are red. And this is the only one not red, because you can mute it and unmute it just by this button here, you know. So I can mute my headphones, which are muted, and then bring them back in. And obviously I won't do that right now because I'm using a microphone in the studio, but I can unmute these, you know, when they're red, they're muted. And just being able to do that from the stage is really nice, you know. Basically just control my whole sound directly from the stage. Okay, so now I have it set up as if I was doing maybe a small live show, something like this. So I have the MT48 on a mini mic stand here. I've got a dynamic microphone for my vocals. I'm just using the pickups on my acoustic guitar, going directly into the MT48. And then everything is coming out and going into this acoustic amp I have here. I'm also using a battery pack to power the MT48, and I'm recording directly onto my iPhone and using a simple DAW app. So I'm recording each track separately so I can then control it later in the DAW. So I get complete flexibility and complete freedom through doing that, and plus it's completely portable because I'm powering via the battery pack, so no mains here. Okay, so let's start with one of the pickups. So I have two different pickups here. I just wanted to show you what it's like, how these preamps handle these different types of pickups. One is a transducer style pickup. It's a contact transducer just inside the guitar underneath the bridge plate here. And it's a passive, both pickups are passive pickups. So this is passive, so there's nothing in between. There's no preamp or pedals in between. I'm just going directly out from my guitar and straight into the MT48. And the other one is a magnetic sound hole pickup. Very different pickups. We'll just see how the MT48 handles them. All right, so let's have a listen to the transducer. There's plenty of gain. It feels really warm and big. I love it. All right, now let's listen to the magnetic sound hole pickup. Again, it handles it really, really well. It feels big, it feels warm. There's a little bit less low end on the magnetic sound hole pickup than the transducer. That's normal, that's very typical. The magnetic sound hole pickup is more string focused, kind of a little bit more clarity, whereas the transducer is a little bit, there's more low end there, but there's a little less clarity. So I find it really nice to actually blend the two when I'm playing. So, but really nice, you know, both pickups are passive going directly in to the MT48. Okay. All right, so now what I'm going to do a very quick EQ and put a bit of reverb on things, just how I would if I was to do a sound check or get ready for a show to play, to perform. All right, let's have a listen to them together now. Go, Everett, go. Play that blues, you know. You find it hard to cope. You're hungry, cold, tired, and broke. Just giving it a very, very slight EQ. I might add a tiny bit of compression here. Just a little bit. So what I'm doing is I'm recording onto my iPhone and I'm recording into a DAW app. Every track independently, separately. And I record everything just completely clean and raw, no EQ, compression or reverb, anything like that onto it, so I can then adjust things later. And I really like that I can do that with the MT48. But I would still want everything to be affected when it comes out of the amp, obviously. You know, I want the EQ and the reverb and everything to come out of the amp, but not to be recorded, because I want to be able to adjust things later and have a clean slate when I'm adjusting the recording later on, you know. And this allows me to do that. So everything that I'm adjusting here, I'm hearing through the amp. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you what it sounds like through the amp. Obviously, it's very, very different because, you know, it's the amplifier is processing it in its own way. But, you know, just to show you what it sounds like, you know, just coming through this amp here. Go, Everett, go, play that blues, you know, you find it hard to cope. You're hungry, cold, tired, and broke. Every day's the same, just gets worse. Ain't got no one on this earth. Go, Everett, go, play that blues, you know. Play
that blues, you know.
Now I'd like to demonstrate how I connect the power bank and the phone to the MT48 in a very simple setup. So we have two cables, one is power and one is data from the MT48. Obviously the power cable will go into the power bank, and then the data cable will just go straight in to my phone like that. And now the phone has actually recognized that it's connected to the MT48. And so it will overwrite any recording it does with its microphones, onboard microphones. It won't use that. It will use anything that comes through the MT48. Okay, so I will select the input. And now I'll arm the track. Okay, now I'm just gonna turn on the phantom power. Unmute the microphone. So now I'm seeing a signal through the door here. I'm just gonna go ahead and press record. And now it's recording.
Oh, the weather is bad and the traffic's the same. To anybody else, it's just another Monday.
So the problem that I have with most audio interfaces out there is the fact that you have to connect it to a computer to get access to a lot of its features. And for that reason, I think a lot of interfaces don't work well for live or portable situations, because you have to connect it with a computer for it to sometimes even function, but a lot of the time just get access to some of the features or have any kind of control over the sound. Of course, you still, with the MT48, you still have to connect it to some kind of computer or something to record. I understand that, and you still have to do that. It doesn't have its own internal recording, but to me, because I can control everything within the interface itself, that is so valuable. There are very few interfaces out there that have this touchscreen that allow you to get access to high quality reverb, EQ, and compression like this. The fact that I can control everything directly from the interface is just, to me, is just a game changer. So even though I've only done a few live shows with the MT48 so far, I've still been using it in the studio for a while, and I've also been using it for a lot of live streams as well. And every single time it has performed flawlessly. It's never let me down. My computer has let me down way more times than the MT48, you know, and that's kind of my point here, is that I especially went for live stuff that I'm going to use live. I need to rely on this stuff, you know, I really need to rely on it. And just in the experience that I've had with computers in the past, I know that I can't rely on computers 100%, you know, and I don't want to. So for that reason, I can't use any other interface that doesn't have access to things like the reverb, to compression, to EQ, all this control with the touchscreen on the actual interface itself. You know, that's what make this, that is what makes this unique here. So who is this for? This is for any small band, solo artist or duo that wants to capture high quality recordings both in the studio and on stage. This is for anyone who wants to have full control over their sound on stage and also create high quality recordings all from one device. To me, this is way more than just an audio interface. There's so much packed into this little unit that I think there's so many different situations that you could find yourself using this. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about price for a second, because obviously this is a very high-end premium interface, and I know some people that watch this channel tend not to go for high-end products but more low and medium range, which is totally fine. But as a gigging musician, if I find something that I can use in multiple applications and is going to improve my sound dramatically, then I'll see that as a worthy investment. You know, take this microphone here. This is a Neumann MT48 small diaphragm condenser. I bought this when I was in my early 20s. I had hardly any money, but I saved up and I got it. I have used the hell out of this microphone. It's been everywhere with me. It was my first high-end microphone that I ever bought, and I still have it. I was using this everywhere in the studio. I was using it live on stage. I was using it as much as I could, and it dramatically improved my sound. So I'm just using this as an example, but that's the way I kind of look at things. So let me know your thoughts about this. I really hope you enjoyed this video. There is so much more to talk about this. I didn't talk about half the things that this thing can do. I'll put links in the description down below for all the things that I've used in this video. If there's anything that I didn't mention that you would like to see either from the MT48 or anything else, then just let me know in the comments down below. Other than that, have a fantastic day, and I will see you again in another video very soon. Bye.